What's happening, guys? We're a little crooked here on the ground, aren't we? There we go. That's a little bit better. I have no idea yet.
Hello. We're going to position you actually so we're facing that way. So we're going to position you guys over by the tree, please. We're going to shoot that way.
This way?
So I'll stand in for where you're going to be.
Okay, for real.
I'm trying to get the playground in the background, so just so you know.
You want somebody to go?
Let's not be shy about it. That's what we're trying to get.
Yeah.
Hey, John, I don't know if there's anybody else down there. But just Fox is
Yeah,
right
Fox
over
is
there.
interviewing the frat boys over there.
That's okay. We told them promptly at 3 o'clock. So if they're not here, they're not here. So obviously Chief Thomas is a little bit taller and more good looking. So you might aim your cameras up just a little bit. This is where he'll be. And just so you know, we have you over here. We're going to try to get the playground in the background.
Hey, do you guys have a mic stand that you can use instead of that wiring up?
I don't have one.
I do.
But I can
Oh,
just
sweet.
I can
Here you
just
go.
stand here and.
There you go. Good man. Yeah.
Yeah, by all means. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just short. Doesn't help. You okay if I clip mine
bet.
somewhere on there?
You bet.
Appreciate it. Look at you doing your job. I'm just over here like. We're just running after protesters. So.
I know.
Somebody let her in. She's trying to get in the door. Cool.
Are you okay? Do you need me to scooch over? Do you have enough room?
I think I'm fine, yeah.
You're good?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Just so you know. I think we're good.
I got some tape.
Probably should have answered that.
No, you're fine. You're good.
And I have a mask on, but I'm going to periscope right over your shoulder.
Deal.
That's the breathing that you'll hear.
I was just running after protesters. So no.
And if you start my grass on fire, I'm going to yell at you.
Yeah.
You bet.
All right, we got one issue here. Somebody's standing in front of my camera.
Got it?
You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, wait, hold on one second. Get your earpiece in.
Ready?
Yeah.
Good afternoon. I'm Division Chief Ron Thomas. I want to provide a preliminary briefing on an incident that occurred here, a critical incident that occurred here about 37th and Vine. So what we know at this time is at approximately 1:39 this afternoon, we received a call from a citizen of a man with a knife, described as a very large butcher knife, who was walking between Race and Vine on 37th Avenue towards the park. An officer was very nearby and arrived on scene very quickly, spotted the individual, exited his car, and the individual advanced on him very quickly, got to within just a few feet, and the officer was able to draw and discharge his weapon against the individual. He was struck and went down at that location. There were some other officers that were very nearby who arrived quickly and were able to render aid to the individual, who was then transported to the hospital. We then initiated our officer-involved shooting protocol, in which investigators from Aurora and Denver will arrive and conduct an investigation under the observation of the Office of the Independent Monitor, and ultimately those results will be presented to the District Attorney for review. Can I answer questions?
The individual with the knife, was he walking around? Was he in a residence? Was he coming from
No,
somewhere?
so he was walking down the street. I think the caller passed him, driving down the road, and saw him walking in the street, waving the knife, approaching the park.
I have a question, sir. How come you guys didn't use a taser?
I'm not sure that would have been appropriate at this time.
That is wrong.
Could you talk a bit more about how he approached officers when they encountered him?
Yeah, so a lot of this is still under investigation, but as we understand it at this time, the officer got out of his car and the individual approached him very quickly in a threatening manner, holding the knife in a threatening manner, and approached within just a few feet. You guys are quiet. Is that it?
Is there any sort of person waving a knife in the middle of the street? Is there any mental health component to this that was?
Certainly, that's a concern. Certainly, that's a concern that the person could be experiencing some kind of mental health breakdown. But in this situation, there was a significant threat to the officer. Someone within that close proximity, holding the knife in a very threatening manner, and getting very, very close to that officer.
What's the condition of the man?
I don't know the condition. I do know that he was alive when he was transported to the hospital, and I've not been updated on the condition.
Chief, there's many types of knives. Is this something? What type of knife are we talking about?
So, as described by the caller, it was described as a very large butcher knife, and then seeing the weapon that we believe was being held by that individual, it actually appears to be some type of machete, quite large.
Any idea if he committed any sort of crime before this happened?
We don't know. We do know that there are a number of civilian witnesses that have been transported to headquarters to be interviewed, and so we'll get a lot of that detail at that time. Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
There's just one officer who.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. What question did that guy ask? The bike? I didn't hear what he said.
How come they didn't taser him?
Oh, okay.
Had a great question.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I'm waiting for Mark. Are we gonna? Do you know if we
Last year you would say suicide by cop, but
Oh, true that.
Guess you can't say that anymore.
So you want me to just grab some more VO and
Yeah.
thanks, man. I called Nate. He said it was most likely one of your stores. Yeah.
Alright, hang on, guys. Let's go explore the scene.
Well, 36th and Vine. See you, man.
Here's our scene right here.
But yeah, let's I got all the video.
Okay.
I don't know how the footage came out for that.
Yeah, why have his face this way?
I'm doing the stringer thing on it right now. I don't know if it'll ever sell anything, but hey.
Yeah, but kind of a weird day. I found some water. Where
I got word that there was going to be a press release. Have they already done that?
they finished like a few minutes ago.
Can you share that information with us since we missed it?
There was a call for someone who was walking down the street with a butcher knife that was actually a machete.
Alright, we're uploading. Alright, let's take a look at the scene here.
I'm sure that's what happened. I'm real sure.
We have a bunch of them
Yeah.
over there.
No, I'm not saying that to you. I mean, the cops lie about everything. They lied about what happened with Malaysia plane. They lied about what happened with Black Bear. Like,
You can't, I mean, if you think about it though, it's like this is the 4th murder this month. Or even if you don't want to call it murder, this is the 4th death this month.
by police hands. It's state-sanctioned murder.
Alright, guys. You pay attention to what you guys are saying. Cop shot the guy that was supposedly had a machete. So, I got within several feet of him apparently. I don't know. I don't know of any crime that the man committed prior to it. They didn't say that the man committed any crime prior to him being shot. This is, I think, Russell Park. We're at 37th and Race is this corner in front of you. That's a question. We don't know about the body cam if it was running or not. So we'll find out, I guess.
Like they realize, like I think they feel like within like 6 feet that a knife is more deadly than a gun, because like you have to pull it from your holster and
It's gonna take a while to upload. Damn.
no, I watched. Ran up to the car.
So we made it here for the PIO statement at least. Could you guys hear it, by the way? Could you guys hear that PIO statement?
Stolen by the police a week earlier. So I'm like, I wonder where the cops got that message from.
Yeah. Apparently you guys heard it because you're talking about it. I don't have to replay it on the other phone. Didn't hear it very well, but I'll probably put the other footage up for the statement so you guys can hear it, or I'll play it for you guys. Well, if you guys wait, I'm uploading it right now to the Stringer site, so I can replay it for you as soon as I got it done uploading. So you'll be able to hear it then, because I used my microphone to capture it up in front of them.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't know. I don't know yet. So they got blocks blocked off around here. They got the red tape up, of course. That's never a good sign for the red tape.
They wouldn't release the name of the officer.
A lot of them standing around.
Did they release the name of the victim?
No, they won't do that till later.
Thank you. They did not.
Murderer.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 detectives there in the shirts. No, they didn't release that either, Eric. They don't release names on the first the first one.
Fuck 12!
By the way,
Fuck 12! Murderers!
when they set up the shot over here, when they set up the shot over here, they wanted they wanted the shot pointing towards the playground so that they could play on the fact that there might be kids around with the man with the knife. So that's why they wanted the conference pointing directly at the playground with them in the background.
White pieces of shit! Killer cop! Fuck you! Fuck white supremacy! Fuck Donald Trump! To the fucking guillotine! Justice! Justice!
Quit your job, murderer!
Quit your fucking job!
We don't know about body cam or dash cam yet.
Fascist fucking pig! Race traitor piece of shit! Murderous racist! Race traitor! Yeah, he is. How do you go home to your kids and tell them what you did? Killers! Let your
No.
wife be pathetic! Pathetic!
Well, one of them is, I guess.
Pathetic motherfuckers! How many lives
Right in the middle of the conference,
are you
so
gonna
the guy,
take?
one of these guys asked him, why didn't you taser him? And they huffed officer replied, "That's not appropriate question for now." So
Fuck you!
it was a perfectly appropriate question. He just didn't have an answer. So I already knew that he wouldn't have an answer to that.
Who's next on your fucking hit list?
What are they doing?
Alright. Let's see where we're at here. We're at
Hope you end up on fucking death row!
36% on my upload to Stringer.
It ain't nothing nice in there. Next time, swallow your own bullet, you murderous fuck! Put the gun in your mouth. Let it all fucking do it. Pull the fucking trigger on your own fucking life.
Most of the media cleared out
None
from
of
this
you
little
deserve to
section where these
fucking
guys are
live.
yelling from.
None of you. Blue lives matter. Blue lives fucking splatter on the pavement. Your time is coming. Tick tock, tick tock.
Why do they have the grass?
They have 2 lines of yellow tape. Why do they have 2 rows of yellow tape?
My feed is busted for what?
The first yellow one was probably just there.
No, it's not Monk Eye. It's one of the people here.
Wrong fucking city.
It's one of the neighbors here.
Murderers!
And he's still on
It's
the
one of the
phone.
Y'all are
neighbors.
gonna have fun with us tonight.
Oh shit. Yeah, watch that. Watch that one. Allegedly watch us tonight, you feel me? So I've heard. I said fun. We're having fun.
My city and my streets.
Fun.
My streets. I be white supremacists. Streets.
That was my nap. It was alright. Just long enough to capture, come down here and capture this for.
When did they do the press conference? Like, how do they get this? Like, they got their own camera, own media.
What a fucking waste. Fucking waste. Fucking race traitor. You're a fucking waste of life.
Pepper spray works too. You guys know how that goes. Blind them.
There is no good Gestapo. Let people know the damn truth for once in your fucking life.
Like, I don't understand why you can't just release
All
body cam
news
footage
channels.
same day. Like, why can't it be released same day?
What's up, baby? How you doing?
Oh, yeah, they gotta come time to.
What's up, baby? What's up,
I'm
baby?
surprised they didn't let him watch it first.
gotta
before they started
collaborate.
giving
We gotta
the details.
cooperate.
Oh, see, what had happened was, tell them.
Uh,
Murderous fascist pigs!
murdered by BPD. They're claiming that he had a machete in his cell. But they all know it.
While he was in his car.
They lie. So
Hey, y'all ready to make some sausage? Y'all ready to make some sausage?
we don't know his name. We don't know the officer's name. All we know is that somebody was murdered.
Let's see where we're at here. We're at 60% on my upload. It's getting there.
And I know Jordan. That's the sad part.
There's people with signs. About to make signs here already. This could get interesting out here. This could get interesting pretty quick.
This time was there was a guy in the neighborhood either with a big butcher knife or a machete waving at the people who live in the neighborhood. They got away from him and they called the cops. When the cops arrived on scene, he went toward the cops to do that. So the cop shot him.
So they didn't have a taser
So
or
the cop got out the vehicle. The dude was walking around in the neighborhood. and he was waving a machete or chasing neighborhood people with the knife or the machete. They didn't know which one it was. Well, they know now. And when the cop pulled up, he approached the cop.
Yeah, it's going.
He dropped himself a lot of times. We have people who have it before. And he didn't, so they shot him. Because he didn't.
All of the media scattered out of here, pretty much.
That hospital up and talking right now. So, but if he'd have been black, he wouldn't.
Oh, so this was a white kid.
He was Mexican. So actually,
Hispanic.
It was the cop's fault. Well, it wasn't the cop's fault. It was that guy.
It's always the cop's fault.
Because he should have been chasing. He should have been chasing the neighborhood. Well, they didn't. Well, that doesn't matter. That guy, if I start chasing you with the knife, you won't think mental illness, so you think about getting away from me. But anyway, I'm just letting y'all know. I want you to know that he was threatening people with a knife. And that's what happened. So y'all know, so sometimes I'm not with the cops killing people and doing things that they do or in the wrong fashion, but sometimes they're in the right avenue.
Bear spray.
Can you guys hear him?
Baton. They would have maced him. That would have showed some Taser.
And the good thing is, they didn't kill him.
They didn't kill him, he's saying.
They didn't kill him. Yes. Yeah, the sergeant captain just said that while they were on camera.
The captain also said that Black Bear had a gun when they murdered him and he did it.
Well, it happened right here. I ain't gathered enough information from the people in the neighborhood yet. That's been working on that. Why did one resident say that he didn't do anything? No resident said that.
Yeah, when we walked up, one brother, he was saying that they shot him for no reason.
Where did he say that at?
He
Where
said that he had some with him.
It was right in front of his front door.
Out of
right over here?
Yep,
yeah. Right in front of their front door. In the yellow house?
No, not in the house. I'm saying we walked up, walked down the corner. You gotta say something he did. Say live up over here.
Yeah, right in front of his house. There's only 4 black families that live right here in this park, and I'm one.
No, it was a black dude. It was a black dude. It's a brother, like, good guy, right around the corner. He drive a red, like, vintage car.
Because it's funny that they went, because they're usually gathered right here, or right over there. It's funny that they went out here.
No, they should. Oh, I know. You know, it's like 7 people this week that they done shot and killed, right? And see, like, that's still a gang. Like, you can't
I don't know the situation, because I have a permit to be armed now, because there's so many crazy people out here.
Yeah, I feel you. I keep being a shooter, but look, check it. Like, literally, they killed this white dude. The white dude, they told him to put his gun on the ground. He goes to put his gun on the ground, and they shoot him. And they legal to carry it. And nothing happens from that. And so it's even their own kind of on the ground, they kill him. So, like, that's the issue. Like, if you're armed, that's the issue. Like, for example, him having a machete, like, we was protesting out in the homeless camps and everything like that, where you're going to eat you something. And so, like, there, you walk around with a machete, it's not taboo, nothing, even whenever in a city center park. But, like having a weapon, that's this man walking around with a machete, whether he charged the cop or not, the cop could have tased him, done whatever else. There's other precautions that he could have taken to try to take the man's life.
Look how many there are out here. They could have easily
They arrived after the scene. It was one officer on scene when the shooting took place. Residents went up after. The only thing we're interested in is that they were shooting there. And if the situation happened right over there was a neighbor who got a bullet hole in their car.
Yeah, they're supposed to have double the officers for however many people there.
On a situation like that, you can never say
that guy was in the,
they still gotta sit that ass in the car and wait on backup, no matter what.
Well, no, he should have observed the situation and make sure no one's life was in danger before he even stepped out of the vehicle.
Exactly. Well, that's their job to see if there's a threat or not. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. I don't know. I have to wait for the full thing to come out. And you are with who?
I'm an independent.
You're independent? You got a card?
No.
You got a channel?
Yeah.
What's your channel?
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Yep. We're live right now on it.
Hmm?
We're live right now on it.
Ghost Rider.
Yes.
or she shouldn't have done it. So, well, but the question is, the person lived through it. How do you know? Because the captain said it. The person lived through it. That's it. The captain said it.
That is interesting.
That's very
They didn't give the condition of them.
That person dead.
In the statement, they didn't give the condition of the guy. Well, he's not dead now, but he could. He could be dead. So that was interesting. I don't think that he actually saw anything of it. He's just talking with people in the neighborhood. So I think he wants to alleviate protesting here. Yeah, he wasn't dead at the beginning of the transport, but you guys all know a lot of them don't make it. You know, days, weeks later.
Like me, you said you should have called.
Yeah.
Once he realized that there was no one in the vicinity around him that he could have harmed with a machete, and he should have waited for it to back up there before they even approached him. Yep.
Alright, my upload's complete. Now I can play you guys the public information officer statement, where you can hear it. Oh, wrong one. Alright.
We don't know. There wasn't any information.
Alright, how well can you guys see that? Sorta. I took a little bit of footage beforehand. So, here, let me move it forward a little bit. Alright, here they come walking over.
So I'll stand in for where you're going to be.
Good afternoon. I'm Division Chief Ron Thomas. I want to provide a preliminary briefing on an incident that occurred here, a critical incident that occurred here about 37th and Vine. So what we know at this time is that approximately 1:39 this afternoon, we received a call from a citizen of a man with a knife, described as a very large butcher knife, who was walking between Race and Vine on 37th Avenue towards the park. An officer was very nearby and arrived on scene very quickly, spotted the individual, exited his car, and the individual advanced on him very quickly, got to within just a few feet, and the officer was able to draw and discharge his weapon against the individual. He was struck and went down at that location. There were some other officers that were very nearby who arrived quickly and were able to render aid to the individual, who was then transported to the hospital. We then initiated our officer-involved shooting protocol, in which investigators from Aurora and Denver will arrive and conduct an investigation under the observation of the Office of the Independent Monitor, and ultimately those results will be presented to the District Attorney for review. Can I answer questions?
The individual with the knife, was he walking around? Was he in a residence? Was he coming?
No, so he was walking down the street. I think the caller passed him, driving down the road, and saw him walking in the street, waving the knife, approaching the park.
I have a question, sir. How come you guys didn't use a taser?
I'm not sure that would have been appropriate at this time.
That is wrong.
Could you talk a bit more about how he approached officers when they encountered him?
Yeah, so, a lot of this is still under investigation, but as we understand it at this time, the officer got out of his car and the individual approached him very quickly in a threatening manner, holding the knife in a threatening manner, and approached to within just a few feet. Is that it?
Is there any sort of person waving a knife in the middle of the street? Is there any mental health component to this? That would,
Certainly that's a concern. Certainly that's a concern that that the person could be experiencing some kind of mental health breakdown. But in this situation, there was a significant threat to the officer. Someone within that close proximity, holding the knife in a very threatening manner, and getting very, very close to that officer.
What's the condition of the man?
I don't know the condition. I do know that he was alive when he was transported to the hospital, and I've not been updated on the condition.
Chief, there's many types of knives. Is this something? What type of knife are we talking about?
So, as described by the caller, it was described as a very large butcher knife, and then seeing the weapon that we believe was being held by that individual, it actually appears to be some type of machete, quite large.
Any idea if he committed any sort of crime before this happened?
We don't know. We do know that there are a number of civilian witnesses that have been transported to headquarters to be interviewed, and so we'll get a lot of that detail at that time.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
There's just one officer who.
Yes, sir.
And that was that.
No mo. Yes.
See if there's anything.
Here's another box. No more. What else are calling Marcus right now?
Yeah, because they know there's going to be a
What? The incident followed the same protocols and actions that occurred for a similar weapons violation? What the hell's going on there? Of course, Denver put up their own as well. And by the way, the man that was recording that was also asking questions. So he was with the police department, and he's questioning his man so that his questions are out there rather than the media's. So he had a specific question there that he asked. So they wanted that information out.
Do you have one of your drones just wasted in the road?
Oh. This is what I was reading here. During a peaceful march today, officers observed a weapons violation. A consultation with the CANDA, a citation was issued. Male was detained and for safety moved to a secondary location where the citation was issued. He was then allowed to leave without incident. I don't know where that was at. So it doesn't say the location of that. Oops. So I don't know where that one is. All right, we have the PIO statement. Yeah. Yeah, their own guy that took that PIO statement was asking questions that they wanted specifically on the PIO.
What are you standing
for
around
the PIO
for,
to
you
answer.
Nazi fucks?
Yeah, look at them all just standing over there. Standing around, getting a paycheck. He's also the same man that told me if I set his grass on fire, he'd be upset, or whatever the hell he said. So, you know, he was an officer that asked that question to the public information officer so that it was on that statement. I looked over at him when he was asking the question, thinking, why is he asking questions? He's with the police, or maybe he's with the mayor's office. I'm not sure which he was with. All I know is he's asking questions instead of the media, because it was a specific question that he wanted answered on the thing. So, a whole lot of standing around, a whole lot of nothing for them to do. There ain't a whole lot of investigation for them to be doing, you know what I mean? Supposedly a guy approaches with a knife, officer shoots him, and he got a 20 square foot radius of around that area, but instead they got blocks and blocks of this neighborhood blocked off. We have no evidence of any other crime occurring for this, by the way. If he threatened anybody with a knife. That's, nobody has said that. You never heard it like that. All right. I was kind of surprised at that, though, that the officer, or whatever he was, and I believe he was an officer, or at least a high-ranking official, was asking questions like that. But half of this park is blocked off, and it's blocked all the way over there at York, down the street. You're talking, 2-3 blocks away, it's blocked off. And you got it blocked off clear over there. I don't know how far this extends, but it's quite a ways. So I don't know what they expect to find in a 4-block area of this area that relates to this. I can bet that it's going to be crazy, especially for Denver. So I don't know if it's going to be crazy here or if it's going to be crazy downtown. Yeah, far enough to keep the cameras away. That is a fact. So this is where they stage the media, though. So here comes the one guy again. So let's see. How many more blocks?
You said you were with Ghost Riders?
My YouTube channel is called Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah, you can watch it live right now.
Okay, I'm gonna go check it out.
So, what information did you gather from?
I just told you. You had me on tape all that time. So you
well,
should have saw
I was
it.
at a distance. I couldn't hear it all.
Okay. That the guy came up in the neighborhood people had threatened with him coming around. The cop approached him, told him, drop the knife. There's people who have recordings that they have.
So somebody did record the incident?
Yes.
Do you know who?
And but I'm not telling you that. That'd be too close to home, and they wouldn't trust me no more.
Oh, well.
And so,
the question is that video going to be brought out or not?
It went from that to them telling him drop the weapon, then they shot him.
Right.
The thing is, he's not dead. If he'd have been black, I'd guaranteed you he'd have been dead.
Probably.
All I know is a car got struck. A car got struck by a bullet.
From the officer shooting?
Yeah,
nobody said that they can shoot straight.
And so I'm sure that'll be taken care of by the person it was witnessed by. So that paper won't get shoved underneath. It'll be taken care of.
You actually witnessed and you just been talking to everybody?
No, I didn't. My wife woke me up and let me know. So
yeah.
I'm a nosy bug of the neighborhood, so I start touching resources that I know. So that's how it went. I'm going to go check you out, Ghost Rider. So you cover everything?
I cover a lot of things.
Can? How do you get a police scanner to do that?
I don't have to have a police scanner for that one. They put it on Twitter.
Oh, I use Cold Neighborhood. Well, I guess I only look for this area, though.
But Denver puts their stuff on Twitter anymore. They're encrypted. You can't listen to their scanner. But I have a scanner.
Yeah, me too. And they took Denver off.
Yeah, it's because it's encrypted now.
Okay.
But Twitter, they put out tweets of
where things are going on at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So an hour ago they put out the officer involved shooting notice, and I headed down here.
Twitter, and you can see the notices of crimes or police calls that's going on around the city.
For Denver, yeah. When they decide to put them up.
When they decide to put them up.
Okay. So they don't always put them up. I find that quite a bit, especially in the ones that I can listen to the radio and can go to their scenes.
Right.
So I'll go to it and there won't be a word to the media. So
yeah, some of them to keep hush hush. Now unless they finna do a no knock, they have the media there, but they don't allow them to put it out to 15 minutes after.
At least, yeah. Yeah, I kind of ruined their night the other night up in Adams County when they were doing a meetup to go serve a search warrant, and I showed up on their meet site.
Did they put you back and hold you for 15 minutes?
No, they just scattered out of there and then did it after when I wasn't following them. So
that's interesting.
but that's what they do.
You be careful, man.
I always try to be.
Don't do that. Don't do this at night.
Oh, I do it at night all the time.
Well, you be careful.
I do it from a lot of times from 10 o'clock till 5 o'clock in the morning.
You be careful. You could end up being a black suspect. You know what that means, right?
Yeah.
You don't make it out alive.
Yeah.
So be careful.
Yep. So, fortunately, most of the officers know me, and I wear this when I'm out there
That don't mean nothing.
to help be spot by them,
Yeah, that you something.
so that I'm not mistaken for a suspect.
Well, you know, I was standing outside the perimeter, and there was one white cop who turned his back on the other officers to come hassle me. And the cops turned and told him, man, you just don't listen. You just don't learn, do you?
That's
And
when you
so
need to record them.
that's when yeah, I should have brought my phone, but I called the office and told him, if you hear something, man, come out.
Yeah. Always record them.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
But then how do you get rid of the phone when they come to do something to you?
Well, they can't.
You beam it up to your site, so that's
Yeah, being live definitely saves
yeah.
saves
There's
our
another natural
butts.
copy that it just can't destroy.
Yeah. So, but they have laws against them destroying your recordings and whatnot.
They have,
And a lot of times you can recover them if they delete them. You can recover them.
yeah, I've heard of that, but no.
So, but it costs money and whatnot. But then you can also take them to the box and say, you know, they violated this law. There's a couple laws involving recording the police.
Yeah.
Colorado Revised Statute 16-3-311 says that we can record them. And 13-21-128 is the one that's
wait a minute,
involved.
what's the last one again?
13-21-128 is the one.
21-128.
128.
Okay.
That one states that they can't interfere with us recording them.
As long as you're
It
outside
also
the
deals.
perimeters,
It also deals with them damaging or destroying
Okay.
of video or phones or whatever.
Okay.
So you can take them to the box for that one of the cost of your phone if they destroy your phone. You can charge them $500 for if you're recording. You know, if they've interfered with your recording, like they did to me the other night. They used their flashlight to blind my camera. So.
But it was digital, right?
Well, yeah, it's
You're not using, so
it's
that's-
digital and it was live at the time.
Right, it
And
destroyed
but
that particular spot, but
but
not your
you
camera,
can't see a thing when they
No.
got a flashlight into your camera.
No, you can't.
So they do it intentionally at
Yeah.
times, which is actually against the
blinded.
law. The law I just told you. Even me telling the guy that he was breaking the law, he laughed at me, but he turned around and he went across the street back to the scene that he was on. But then he started using his flashlight on me again. So I put a claim on that, $500 for damaging my recording. Well, it isn't so much of a damage as it is an interference of my recording.
Right.
So in those particular frames of the recording, I can't identify anything because all I see is a light in the camera. You know, nothing else beyond that. So that's an interference.
Yeah, and then
So-
with you knowing your rights and them knowing you, they'll probably pay you.
I've been paid
They'll
before.
probably pay you.
I've been paid before.
Yeah, because you have a history, and since they know that, they won't fight you against what you're trying to do.
Well, here's the deal. They have, when I put in a claim like that, they have 30 days in which to say, okay, we're wrong, here's your money. Or they can say, we don't think you're right, and we're denying your claim. And if you think you're right, you can take them into court and to civil court and sue the department for $15,000 as compared to the $500 you can claim, or whatever actual damages of, like they smash your phone or something, you know. So if they feel they deny your claim and you feel you're in the right, you can take them to the box on it.
Yeah,
And
because you have for sure on the scene evidence.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Hi, and who are you with, sir?
Oh, I'm with Miss Mayhem. We're
Miss Mayhem.
yeah, I got a car.
Another
wash.
independent, more or
Yeah,
less.
we're independent. We're actually pretty new. We just started this spring. Of course, we're in the middle of a pandemic, but
You know, it is what it is.
You ain't sick,
And
are you?
no. And yeah, we try to focus more on issues that matter to underserved and marginalized communities. Kind of build a diverse newsroom. So yeah, that's what we're doing. But yeah, I went to the protest at the Capitol earlier.
Okay.
Just kind of like doing some like backup coverage because we had another reporter that had to duck out early, and I heard that some people were coming down here, so I just thought I'd come
See what
down,
was
yeah,
gonna happen.
check it out, see if anything was going on.
So they tweeted about citing somebody down there for a weapon at the protest.
Yeah, I didn't say anything myself. Were you guys here when they gave the press conference?
Yeah, I was here.
What'd they say?
They said basically what happened was neighbors, they got several calls from neighbors, and there was some gentleman threatening the neighbors with a big machete. Well, it was a big butcher knife or a machete. He called it a butcher knife.
Okay.
He said some people said it looked like a
The
machete.
report was a butcher knife, he said.
Yeah, but he called it a large butcher knife. And the cop...
Good afternoon. I'm Division Chief Ron Thomas.
And you told me you didn't get it.
Preliminary briefing on an incident
Yeah, I
that
did.
occurred here, a critical incident.
You said I didn't hear it clear enough when you were
No,
asking.
when you were talking.
So what we know at
Because
this
you were
time is at
a ways away
approximately
from my
1:39
camera. I got this.
afternoon, we
This is
received
just
a
public
call from a
information,
citizen, of
you
a
know,
man,
thing.
with a knife, described as a very large butcher knife, who was walking between Race and Vine on 37th Avenue towards the park.
Is this
An
online?
officer was very nearby and
Did you put it up
scene,
yet?
very quickly.
Yeah, I put it up, but
spotted the individual,
I didn't put it onto my channel.
exited
But
his
so no, it's not.
it's on Twitter
The
for
individual,
what's your-
advanced on him.
your Twitter
very
handle?
quickly,
no, not my Twitter.
got to within just a few
GPD's
feet to,
Twitter.
Got it.
They
the officer
recorded
was
it at
able
the same
to,
time.
Draw and discharge his
So they
weapon,
put it
against the
out
individual. He
on
was
Twitter,
struck,
but this
and
is
went
my
down at
recording
that
of it.
location.
Gotcha.
There were some other
So
officers
I
that
didn't
were
like how they
very nearby
wanted
who
it set up.
arrived quickly and
They
were able
wanted
to
us set
render
up
aid
to
to
point
the
with
individual who was then
them
transported to the hospital.
with the
We had
playground in the
initiated an
background
officer-involved shooting
for
protocol
propaganda
in which,
purposes.
investigators from Aurora
So I
and
didn't,
Denver,
as you can see in
will
mine, you don't
arrive
see a
and
playground.
conduct an investigation,
So
under the observation of the officer of the independent
I didn't
monitor,
like that,
and
but
ultimately those results
the
will
guy
be,
that was
presented to the
recording
district
for
attorney review.
Denver for the
Can I
tweet,
answer questions?
he was asking questions, and he was an official with the city or with the department because they wanted specific things
No, so he
on
was walking
yeah,
down the street. I
that.
think the caller passed him.
And I'm like,
driving down the road
that
and
ain't
saw
right.
him walking in the
So-
street, waving the knife, approaching the park.
So what they say and what happens, what actually happens is a lot of times two different things.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Like
So-
this is their version.
I'm not
So
sure
I
that would've
want to
been
know
appropriate
like
this
if
time.
anybody else saw anything. I know with the body cam.
There's some people who caught it, but
He,
I haven't been
he
able to catch up
says
with them.
people with video, but who knows if that's
Yeah,
going to
so,
come out
a
or
lot of
not.
this is still under investigation,
So-
but as we
It won't.
understand it at this time,
So who knows if the video will come out or not.
It
We'll
won't
see at some
because
point.
they got clear audio, but not clear pictures because they were mostly porch cameras.
Audio is good too, though, because it helps to hear what actually happened.
Do you live here?
hmm Yeah, but I'm real nosy in this area here.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to go check out Cole live and see if someone comes out and says what's going on.
But there's the tweet
But
on
the
it.
guy wasn't black, so he's not dead.
Yeah, see that
Okay,
tweet? They put
gotcha.
up their own
Yeah.
tweet for it. And of course, look at that. They got the playground like he wanted.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what he gets paid for.
Well, yeah,
Well, messaging is everything.
yeah.
Well, they're having
So-
such a rough time right now.
I don't know that he actually threatened anybody in the neighborhood with the knife because they, haven't said it. But
I'm waiting to see that too. But they called him.
that's what helps to, even a recording of the audio helps because if he's threatening somebody, you'd probably hear something, some yelling or something.
Well, it could
so-
be just like that. Who was that? That black guy that was recording the lady when she was calling, talking about she's been beat up by that black dude, and he was recording her as she was saying
New
it
York?
in New York.
Yeah, that
It
guy.
could be one of those incidents, but I don't know. I wasn't out here to see.
A whole lot
Who's
of
the lady
detectives
following
standing
them
around
in the
doing
blue?
nothing.
Probably some kind of like crime
CSI,
scene
yeah.
unit.
Crime scene investigation lady, more likely. There ain't a whole lot to investigate, though. I got 4 blocks around here blocked off, at least minimum, and a whole lot of nothing to investigate.
Well, they're not sure who's all going to show up to protest.
And I don't think it has a.
Just like last time something happens up here, they quartered off right here and right up there. So a Mexican came through and didn't have a driver's license or insurance, and they let him go.
I wouldn't
like,
complain
got
about
to be
that.
joking.
But that is nuts. They're selective on who they want to prosecute many times.
You're right. Yes, Mom. I'm right across the street talking to the guy who has a site on TV. His name is Ghost
Writer.
Ghost Writer.
Like to write a book.
Big dude. No, this guy's
Protests can
about my
always be
height,
fun.
a little skinnier than me, white, grayish blonde beard. Okay, I'm stepping from around the tree so you can see.
So you cover a lot of these things?
Yeah. And protests.
Yeah.
I know you've probably seen some of my footage on TV.
I think I've seen you around. Like, do you, like, are you just like a stringer, or?
I do stringers,
Yeah.
and then of course I run my own channel.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I go to all these things. This one isn't even a stringer because all the news channels came.
Yeah.
It's too big a story for them to put a stringer on it. But I like covering it because you get to see things that they don't show you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they have a narrative and they only have a 30-second spot a lot of times on the TV to tell it to you.
Yeah.
So when we're out here recording and seeing things live, that's a big difference on what you see on TV as compared to what's really happening.
So I actually ran the college paper at my university, but before I became the editor-in-chief of the paper, I did work for the school's like news broadcaster, and this was at Metro, like TV Met. I forget what it's called, but anyway, yeah, the TV journalists were not as in depth as the print ones.
Yeah.
Like they were a lot more technical, like a lot more like good with image and all of that, but they depend on on a newspaper for like actual like deep content. And like we were the print ones, us, like we were the ones who would dive deep into a story and like pull out every nuance.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like I like watching like well-produced YouTube videos like on specific subjects, and like I think that's a great way to like get information across, but you can't replace print.
You can, but it's pretty tough. I mean,
I think like all the visual audio mediums are like a good supplement for print, but I feel like, I mean, that's just my opinion, I feel like print is like the best way.
Picture's worth 1,000 words.
Yeah,
a few words on an article can either be right or wrong, as compared to video evidence of something, of something going on. So there is a huge difference there. So the power of the word is important, that's for sure, depending on where it's used. So, I mean, in a courtroom, it's powerful. You don't get to use video in a courtroom, the power of the word. So there is a huge difference on how it's used.
The only limitation with video, though, sometimes is like you can only see like what's happening like in the moment. Like you don't have like the background context, like the bigger picture.
Yeah, that's very true. You don't always have the background of it.
Yeah.
Of what's going on or anything. There's many times where that happens with my stories when I'm out there, that I have no idea what the story is exactly.
Yeah.
And I just get the video of it, but then I pick up the story from other sources and know more about it at that point. So many times that happens.
Have a good one, man.
Many times that happens. So then sometimes.
Stay safe at night, man.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Think anything's gonna happen tonight?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll be at my other job, so that kind of sucks.
We're in, what district are we in over here? Are we in District 2?
Yeah, it looks like it's 2.
Could be District 2. We haven't had protests at District 2 though, so District 6 has been hit hard enough. Or not hard enough. Who knows what to say. But it's dangerous down there at the protests anymore. I mean, when the protests first started, I was down there covering them. First night I got gassed 5 or 6 times. I think shot at least 1 time. So
Yeah, that was us too.
yeah. By the 3rd night, it was getting, you know.
It was dystopian.
First night of the curfew, that was pretty intense, especially when the officers got hurt. And I tried to approach them to take video.
Yeah.
I didn't want anybody close to them officers to take pictures.
Yeah.
So
They were shooting press members too. Like,
they shot me that night.
Yeah,
when I
they-
tried approaching, I was with one other person, and we came from the side by the alley, crossing an open parking lot, and they just opened fire on me. Not even saying anything, like don't approach, nothing. They just opened fire on me, was hitting me in the feet. Like,
They broke that one camera from, I think it was Denver 7.
we have signs now. They've been making signs. The what now?
They broke the camera of that one cameraman, I think from the Denver 7, the Denver channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They generally know who the press is, and they don't like to mess with them because they know that they can get into trouble for it. So, like, I didn't get shot a whole lot when I was down there, but I was using this setup, using my vest, and staying still for the most part.
Yeah.
So they knew that I wasn't a protester, that I was there recording. So they didn't shoot directly at me most of the time, but they did shoot at me several times. So they have more signs over there, by the way. So they're going to be over here protesting some, on the spot protesting. But I did catch some footage that went viral down there at the.
Yeah.
At the,
What was it?
The guy that was at the corner of Broadway and Colfax. He had gotten out of his car, and his pregnant girlfriend or wife was in the car, and he yelled at him for shooting at his car.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I took that footage.
Yeah, I saw that footage. Yeah.
Everybody did. Pretty
Yeah.
much. A lot of people. Millions. I mean, it was on national TV. Plus, it was, all over social media, too.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
Yeah, I arrived after seeing it on Twitter because it's encrypted here for Denver. So, down with police, her sign says. And they're still making signs. Instant protest, bring signs, or bring paper and pen and make signs and start yelling. They're going to be out there. Oh, this thing's got a little catch on it. They're going to be out there on the street with their signs. But yeah, come nighttime, that's when it's getting crazy because the police can't see the protesters. Especially, in the dark and a distance, and they'll start tossing things at them. Of course, you never know if it's actually a protester or if it's a instigator that wants the police to react by shooting the people that didn't throw things at them, by the way. That's the part that always gets me, is like, you know, they get something thrown at them, they don't know where it comes from, so they just open fire to whoever they can see rather than the actual person that did it. So their job is to go after the person that did it, not just open fire and declare it, you know, an illegal assembly and just start gassing and shooting randomly. So don't know if I'll be there at the protest tonight, but I might be. So I need to get my hands on a bulletproof vest.
I gotta get a gas mask and goggles.
Yeah, that always helps too. So by the second or third night, I had a mask but no goggles, just a regular mask. That helped. It didn't clear all of it, but it did help quite a bit.
There you go, CBS.
Yeah, it did help quite a bit with it. And then somebody did send me a gas mask. I haven't had it on yet, but it might be a good time to have it on be tonight.
That's ominous. All right, man. Take off.
All right, have a good one. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, you too.
Let's go over here. Because we all know that way they're just standing around doing a whole lot of nothing. You know what I mean? CSI guys are the only ones going to do any work. The detectives, they've already taken in people that were witnesses. So whether you can call it kidnapping or not, that's, you know, that's the debate there. If it can be considered kidnapping. Oh, you seen something? We need you to come down to the station and talk to us. And it usually isn't an ask. You know what I mean? Even though they're a witness to a crime, but not anything else. Looks like the officers are wanting to get out of here. Hang on a second here. This guy's repositioning to block the tape. The ones that are blocking the street are like, we're out of here. There's people with signs protesting now. So they got out of here. And that one's just going to go up to the back of the tape there. What is this sign? Russell Square Park is getting a makeover. That's what that sign is. So it's Russell Park here. And these people are going to be out here protesting, obviously. And I don't think the police are going to... Huh? No, I'm good. It's still full. Thank you. So they're going to be out here protesting, and the police are just going to have to put up with it. Another officer-involved shooting never goes over well in Denver anymore. Right, guys? So I wish I could have been a little bit closer to capture some footage of like the car with a bullet hole, but as you can see, they have it blocked off pretty well. Somebody's been reading some Eric signs. Blue Lives Murder, Blue Lives Splatter being yelled. Yeah, it kind of sounded like Kyle, but Kyle ain't down here. It's just me. So people hear the message and they spread it. Spread the message. So I think it's about time to go though. Get out of here. I got some other things to do. Know what I mean, guys? But I'll be back. This protest might be getting bigger. Think he's an ex-cop? It could be an ex-cop, but the way he talked to me was definitely like a cop. He said something about me setting the grass on fire. So you guys know what, once an officer, always an officer, right? So they're going to be shouting, yelling and shouting. I parked down this ways. So we'll see what's going to happen in Denver tonight over another shooting. I'm saying, oh, they couldn't help it, but you know, if you have an officer on the scene, a man with a knife, and nobody else around, you know, if the officer has backup coming, nothing says that they have to get out of their car at that point if nobody's threatened. You know what I mean? So, you know, he's gonna say that he was in fear for his life. We already know that's going to be said. Now the question is did he have to be in front of the man? Am I on a scooter? No. So the question is did he have to be in front of that man if no crime was been committed? Yes, he might have had a knife. Huh? Officer shot a man that had a knife, they say. Well. So you guys know when there's a weapon involved, how quick officers respond. You know, that would be like a felony menacing man with a knife. So the circumstances are always questionable. I mean, did the officer have to be in front of that man at that time? Was he stopping another crime? Was somebody in danger? Say maybe the officer was in danger. Damn gnats. Maybe the officer was in danger when he stepped in front of him, but beyond that, you know, was anybody else in danger? What the hell's with all these damn gnats on me? Getting covered with these gnats out here. Here's Channel 7 now. I parked right behind Channel 7. So they're doing their editing and stuff. Alright guys, I'm going to end the stream. Get some other stuff done. We'll see what happens tonight. Thank you guys for joining. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. No, there's just a lot of bugs here at that park. Yeah, he could have endangered himself. But alright guys, we will catch you on the next one and get rid of these damn bugs.